And welcome back. This is episode 2, and unfortunately, I'm dead already due to some excessive zombie counts. I'm popping in on X here because, well, he was pretty close to where our team was on the surface. In fact, we really had some horrible luck spawning in on this one, unfortunately. This jungle is just so ridiculously big. Let me give you an example of just how big this thing is. And right next to Dark Oak, no less. If we'd wandered off into Dark Oak, I would have been happier. But here we go. So here's a massive jungle, and we spawned somewhere deep in the middle of this place. I mean, there was no way from what we were seeing that there was going to be any way really out of this jungle that would have been anywhere near easy. And unfortunately, the jungle harbored enough of a skeleton force that was it. So I lost half my health right within the first 10 minutes of the game, and then the rest of it, it just was only a matter of time. But this is, the good news is at least a lot of other teams are going to be in the same boat as I was in with our team. I mean, this jungle does, it's not ending. I mean, I'm going along the world border at this point, and yikes. There is a lot of stuff out here now. The upside is it is daytime now. The problem is anyone actually going to bother to go in? Now, because all of this is jungle, I'm not really expecting to see a lot of teams down here, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I was hoping to actually get some stuff done. But it looks like a couple of... Ooh, someone's got an Enderman ticked off at him. That's not good. So it looks like Katie's team has managed to pick up some shields at this point. They're not too far off from a mine shaft over here. And it looks like it's a safe mine shaft if they wanted to go for it, but I don't see anything really here in the way of chests or anything that they could benefit from. So hopefully they won't get too hung up in that mine shaft if they happen to find it, but I kind of doubt they will. Moving along, let's also pop in an update on Gekor's team. Gekor is teamed up with Rax. Rax? Wow, there's one for the blooper reel. She is teamed up with Rack and a couple other people, and they kind of spread out a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm seeing a lot of the advantages come when you're doing a UHC. You can't all stick together, but you've got to be able to communicate well enough to know where everyone is. So if you run across another team, you need to be able to either back out very quickly or get support on you right away. Looks like there should also be another team over here. So here is Danger Mouse 555. And teamed up with Nito. I don't see... There's Bob George III. And that team is currently 3 people. So they had one person die already on their side as well. So they're not too far off from Gekor's team. And in fact, the poke holing over here would indicate they have a pretty good chance of running across them. Now, it also looks like there's a mine shaft over here if they happen to find it, but this is probably not one that most people want to go into. No, actually, no, it's regular spider. Never mind. Let's see. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm muting the TeamSpeak this time around. I might pop it back on to listen every now and then, but for the most part, I am just going to be keeping an eye on the various teams and providing my own commentary on this. Because, well, I've lived one episode, so hey, I might as well do something productive, right? If you're really kind of looking for commentary and listening to what's going on in TeamSpeak in the lobby channel, definitely check out some other people. I know Magnamundian's out at this point, unfortunately, so you can probably be able to get most of what you're looking for through him. Let's see who else we've got. False. Let's get a false update. On the surface and taking damage from a spider. Ouch. Not using that shield, but then again, in our version of 110 here, shields are very much a hit-or-miss prospect at this point. You are not likely to see much protection from the shield because it's not absorbing the full damage, and of course if something's on fire, you're still going to get set on fire. On the other hand, they're sitting up here surrounded by dogs, and I'm guessing none of them have bones, which is kind of a shame because there's 4 dogs in view right now. There's one over in that direction. They could have really made some significant progress in that regards. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. We are moderately far away. Let's head over towards 0-0 and see if anything is going on here real quick. We do have a village down here, and it looks like it's been somewhat raided. That is one problem that we were going to have on my team, was food was going to be a major issue. Yeah, we were definitely going to be having to get, we're going to have to get out at some point and certainly try to hunt down some more food. But it looks like this place has already probably been raided. If I drop down here, it'll be a little quicker to see what's going on. Yep, it's already been raided. Okay, so the Spruce Forest village has been taken care of. And we're not far off from 0-0 at this point. Head over in this direction, and here we are. We're about in the general area. The final fight in this area is going to be really tricky. Let me see if I can dial in 0-0 exactly here. It should be up on... Yeah, this is definitely going to be another one of those maps where elevation is going to play a critical role in the final map, because we're going to get down to 50 by 50. They're going to be confined in this area, and whoever's got this high ground first is going to be in better shape. And even if it's just a case of having a 2 or 3 high cobble structure of some sort, that could spell all the difference. Let's pop back in and take a look at Gekor. Gekor is down mining here. They've been selectively peeling away some of the terrain, and she's lucked out in that this creeper apparently did not see her in time, fortunately. I don't see any of the rest of her team, but it looks like they broke out into into the caves over here. She is off on her own, which is interesting because she's not on her own as a team, I don't believe. No, her team is still very much alive and kicking, and they're over here. So they have definitely spread out, but the question is, Gekor is going to be in some trouble very soon. So this could be shaping up to be some imminent combat. Danger Mouse is mining down here and is not crouching. And as annoying as it is, and as painful as it is, to keep your hand on the shift key, or keep a finger on the shift key the whole time, it does pay off. People, if the teams can't see you, they're not going to engage you, and that is all the difference. But what might have the stomping on this particular matchup is a skeleton down there. If Gekor saw it, or if there's some reason for her to backtrack, then that could explain everything. Let's check in on... Access has already got... Wow, this team has been lucking out on the diamonds. Well, Pikachu's team, they must have found... they must have actually raided a village librarian somewhere around here, because that's either that or they got a lot of leather, and that's actually a very good start for them, because they must have gotten fortune at some point off of one of their enchants, and that could spell all the difference. If they've got fortune, then that's diamond gear forever. And not only that, but they've got enough books. If they've got enough books to have that much, then they're going to be in good shape, whether they want to get high-level enchants or whether they want to start combining enchants. So it's going to be down to an XP grind for their group. Let's see, who else do we have here? Let's take a look at Boop and see what Boop is up to. Boop and Gareth are teamed up here, and I believe they are basically the last of their team. The other red... No, they've got the full team. The other red-black. I was seeing dark gray and red was what I was seeing earlier. So they're all kitted up still in iron, but they've already got an enchanting table, so that's definitely off to a good start. Again, second episode, definitely a very good way to get going here. Oh, and, oh, guys, if you went a little further, come on, go a little further. You've got 2 diamonds sitting over there. Let's see what else we've got going on, just in terms of overall activity, because we're out in the boonies here. If I head in this direction, we'll be a little closer spawn. You can tell there's been some team activity down here. Or the water stream just got cut off. One of the two. Wow. Some interesting land generation there. Oh, some nice emeralds ready to go. But above ground, it's going to be interesting to see what we have develop here. Unwoven Rainbow. Teamed up with Leia, Boz Jesman, and who else is on their team? Well, the world border has just started to shrink, so we are going to start seeing teams slowly making their way into the center. Looks like... Actually, no, Zuma's supposed to be on their team. Where the heck is X? Ah, he's off down, grinding up some XP. Okay. So, for all the intents and purposes of them being so close to other teams, because they were definitely in the jungle, it seems like they have managed to more or less find themselves in a nice isolated chunk of the map. And the other thing that they've also got going on, it looks like they just got their enchanting bench up, is they are going to have the world border start coming in from this direction. So they're in a moderately decent position. I kind of think the best way to start almost is to actually be near the world border, because you're going to be able to come down and fully explore a lot of the terrain before you run out of, you're basically, it's going to take a while to run across a team. So let's run out here to the world border, and hopefully I can actually demonstrate this for the first time in UHC. But just think, if you've come down here, not that many teams are actually going to be dropping in along the world border. They're all going to be a little further in, because it's pretty rare, it seems, to actually be started out too close to the world border. It does happen. But as you can see, there's not a lot really going on around this area. Most of what I'm seeing for lighting is from torches. So you have to go all the way over here before you find a team that came down in the nether. And this particular team, in this case, is going to be Photon Burst and Katie's team. So they are actually what I would consider... Oh, they've got a spawner, actually. A zombie spawner. So they've got everything they need to really start chewing up some XP here. And not much in that chest, but... yeah, not much in that one either. I mean, they can at least pick up Cat for a record. They want to try to creep out teams. But yeah, that is going to be... Unfortunately, the usefulness of this spawner is a little wrecked. If only just because of the existence of this cave over here. They would have to really light that up for this to be too effective. In fact, that's actually going to make it harder to get in this cave, because they're going to be spawning in a lot of stuff. So that's not a bad find. Can't really do much with the rotten flesh unless you really want to take your chance eating it for food. But yeah, so as you can see, not much really going on at the world edge. I mean, things are, aside from the occasional teams like over here, there's Rod Knight UK, and yep, it's Trucks. He's run across some Lapis, which, okay, yeah, he's just going to get that. I was going to say, don't let that go by, because even just one little lucky hit is going to give you enough to last a while. Some gold over here in case anyone's actually interested in getting into that ravine, and they may find it, but that could have some pretty negative repercussions there. And a mine shaft up here to boot. Not really seeing much in terms of loot in this mine shaft, though. So, you know, again, it seems like the random number generator, especially considering that there's already been another team that has been in here, random number generator may make things a little more difficult here. Okay, let's go back to Thunderhawk and see how my team is doing. So they are down here at diamond level. Yeah, unfortunately it sucks that I wound up taking that much of a hit, but what can you do? Looks like they've managed to come down a little bit of ways, because they came down, this was the little half shaft, that's where I died. Okay, so they did eventually go back down there, which is good. But yeah, unfortunately not finding too much, it looks like, and they're blocking off their tunnels, which isn't a bad thing to do. And, well, they're heading in one direction. Unfortunately, they're going to be in the same boat that I was in the last UHC. Up. The Thunderhawks got some diamonds. Nice. And all three of them already have diamond boots, so unfortunately I may have missed out on there, huh? Some of them found some diamonds somewhere. I'm glad they did. Oh, it looks like there's at least one cheaty diamond over there that would just fall into the lava lake, but that's good news that they've got some more diamonds. But really what they're going to need now is that pick, and they need to find some obsidian so they can get enchanting going. But they've also got to be very careful because right where they're at, that world border is not going to stay out for too long. I know this village is raided because this was the one that we could just barely see, and actually maybe that might be why some of the teams have a slight edge up right now, because whoever got to this place first definitely might have lucked out on a blacksmith chest. But as you can see, if we head out in this direction, that border is going to be right here and moving at a pretty decent pace. So they might be able to make it all the way to the 0-0 axis, but the other problem is they need to get out and pick up some more resources from up top. It's something that our team does not have. We don't have the reads for the book, and because unfortunately that jungle just, yeah. It's going to be interesting to find out how many teams might have been screwed over by that jungle, unfortunately. So Delta just popped down a furnace. Let's see what else is going on over here, because the enchanting bench has just been picked up. And where are they going? Boss Just Man is getting very close to that ravine, and kind of hate to say, I think they're right on a level that if he doesn't watch it as he's going in, there could be some... There'll at least be a little interesting shift and dance going on. But they definitely have another team, because we've got some furnaces going on over here. This is just for XP. Are they cooking up anything? Yeah, they're just going for XP. Not sure whose that is. Oh, that's Fred 104. Fred is on the same team as Nico. They are the ones that are by themselves. So they're at a real disadvantage. Their best bet right now is stay down as long as they can. Hopefully they've got a good supply of apples. And I hope that it gets them out of there. Let's check up on False. False is caving right now, with nothing up ahead to really show for it, and just a slight end to the cave, and that's it. Nothing in here anyways to get, well, aside from the gold that was just right beyond that. Yeah, unfortunately you can't win them all, but looks like they're just going for resources, resources, resources. Let's pop in on Gekor here. Gekor's team is branch mining away like crazy. So they've got a chest, they've got a good spot here. I have always been kind of a do I or don't I approach on the mine straight down idea. It definitely, if you do it carefully, you're good, but you can be in some pretty serious hurt if you don't. And it looks like these two teams came very close. I mean, that was where Gekor had run across, and by now they've branch mined clear through it and over into here. It looks like Danger Mouse missed them completely. Lucky shot on their part. Let's see what Daker's up to. Daker is over here because they are he's the significantly disadvantaged team right now because, well, he is his own team. So he has a lot of catching up to do, and it's going to be very hard for him to do it with only one person. So he looks like he is kind of branch mining out, and he's going to have to keep an eye on that world border because in a little bit it's going to be catching up to him. But he's also got to keep an eye out for all the rest of those teams. Interestingly enough, their entry point was in a swamp, which I'm not exactly sure how that worked out. It's going to be the end of the third episode here in a little bit, I believe, if I'm reading my time correctly. So, yeah, that's interesting that he decided to come down there, or his team decided to come down there. But yeah, they must have really been the caves that kind of did that to him. So good luck, Daker. Hopefully you can make something out. And there's the 40-minute mark. So that's the end, actually, of the second episode. So I'll see you guys in the third.